Good morning, Zakaria.
Good morning.
Good morning to all. We are here to present the work done by HBN Consulting, Zakaria Ben Humad, with my help, called Data Vizir. Data Vizir is an application to visualize and analyze educational data, starting with EGRA-EGMA, Early Grade Reading Assessment, Early Grade Mathematics Assessment. We noticed that we spent a lot of time analyzing the data using Stata or R, and there are other ways, new modern ways, using data visualization and artificial intelligence to perform the same work without coding any line. You don't need to know Stata, you don't need to know R to do educational data analysis. So starting with some real data that we turn into anonymous data with pseudonyms, Zakaria has built three modules. The first one, EGRA application that we are going to launch now, is allowing you to do the global report of the core indicators. You have several languages. You can choose the tool in French, Arabic, and English. Soon we will use in Hindi as well, and other languages, Spanish, etc. You could have the descriptive statistics for each task, a letter per minute, words per minute, for EGRA and EGMA, number identification, missing number addition, etc. So you can select the task that you want to analyze, and then you have the core descriptive statistics. You have also the histogram, which are very important to describe the distribution of the scores, the variance of the score, how they spread along the different values. You can export all of this information either in Word, Excel, download the CSV, or you can have a PNG, an image for the graphics. And so you have a functionality. The whole idea is finally to click on a button, now all the reports done. So you can do the exploration of the analysis. For now, it's based for all students, the 500 students, but we could also use the sampling weight if you have a sample data. 482 students. The zero score analysis, which are important in EGRA, are the proportion of what we call the non-readers that cannot decode for each task. So you see where are the flows in the performance and where you can export. And you have this button, generate interpretation, that use AI to write a narrative and give you a snapshot of the areas that are concerning and the areas that require attention and the good performance as well. So the idea is to develop some machine learning. So the software, with the help of an expert, will start writing up more tailored, more specific recommendation, but it's just a work in progress now. You can do the correlation analysis that will show you the relationship between the different tasks. The traditional reliability, comeback alpha for each task and for the test. You have also, which is interesting, the school performance to compare the school performance or the schools perform for each task. You have the table. It's always in three formats. For the output, you have the Excel table, the raw data, if you want, of the output, the average per school. Then you have the graphics, and then you have the narrative, the text. And you can combine, when you export to Word, it will combine some text, some images, and some tables, allowing different type of users to see what is the best plot. We have also the violin plot, which are more relevant now, more modern ways to present results of the schools. You have the gender analysis, and which is interesting also. So you can see the difference between girls and boys. And you have the what we call the international standards. You can define the benchmark, what the children should do by task. They have to read 40 letters per minute or 50 words per and see the comparison by task of where you stand compared to where you want to go and the gaps. And see, for example, here, number identification and correct letter per minute in green. So you know that these tasks are mastered by the pupils. Missing number, it's on this way, and then all the rest of the task, you see that there's still some efforts to be done. And you have also, as I said, some text, some narratives you can use. It's a work in progress, but we want to refine, and some policy implication. You can export to Word, you can download to CSV, and you can use the results. So you don't need to code anything, and you don't have to think too much about the statistics. We align the choice of the statistic based on previous research and the common standards on reporting algorithm data by RTI International and others, the World Bank, and everybody that is using algorithm, so the study children, and our own personal work to be sure that we are doing the proper graph and outputs, and there is not misleading information produced. The second application, which is called the pupil card, will show you the result for each pupil. Here we have around 500 pupils, so we can generate for each pupil. This is false name, but is real data. You can generate the profile of each child to see where he stands, is as developing or emergent or mastery level, comparing this result to standards, and you see where you need to go. For example, words per minute and letters per minute is fine, but in phonemes and listening comprehension and reading comprehension, there's still some efforts to be made. And we believe this can be sent back to the teachers. We can tailor some remediation practices for the whole class and for each child. Because we can also do the same for a school or for a district if you have a large number of schools. And you can you can generate the reports for each class or each pupil, and you have a small text that will tell you, guide you on the remediation. It's still being developed. The third application, and not the least, is what we call the contextual application. It allows you to have an idea of the factors, the common factors that can influence the scores. So again, you have the school comparisons. In our case, we have large school differences, so belonging to a school is an important factor. You have the language effects also, because there are different language of instructions, and the pupils don't necessarily master or speak the language of instruction frequently, which are in our case English and Dutch. So you can see the frequencies, and again, you can see how they perform according to the use of language, which is a core value. You can see here that, for example, the more the children speaks, the more frequent the student speaks a language, the better the results, especially in English, and it can vary between tasks. Another feature is the contextual factors. Here, so mainly the usual suspect, which are the factors that we suspect might impact learning based on literature and research, is socioeconomic status and the home support. That someone read to the child aloud, and you can also correlate the socioeconomic status and the home support. You can do by gender. You can select your own factors, because at the end, the tool has many possibilities to tailor according to your needs and your data. You can add tasks, you can add factors. It's written on Python. So we think it's an innovation that can benefit for large or even small deployments. We have also some other modules being developed on data treatment, data cleaning, which is a lot of work, and also item response theory, and it can also do several things, regression, etc. Zakaria and his company HBN are also developed something which is very interesting, is how to import a file from Word into Tangerine, which is software by HBN International that can allow you to collect algorithmic data and contextual data, pupil questionnaire, student teacher questionnaire. And there's a lot of time to enter all this information into Tangerine, which is a practical tool, but you need to enter whether it's a time grid, for example, the numbers per minute, or anti-green like the reading comprehension, and entering into Tangerine can take a lot of time and it's a source of error. So usually the tests and questionnaires are done on Word, and Zakaria has elaborated some kind of magic that allows you to import directly from Word to Tangerine. So the expert of test content, the literacy expert can focus on the content, not necessarily taking some time on the format, and this tool will generate some XML forms called Tangi forms that are fit to the structure in Tangerine, and then you can import this file by copying into Tangerine. Zakaria has his own open source version called Clementine to do some tests. We've tested in some countries and it worked. That means you don't need to type each type of question and enter it. I'm done with powerful AI. We believe these innovations can be benefiting to your organization or to you, and we're happy to reach out to us for any question, especially to Zakaria, and we can answer and propose your service, our services. Thank you.